Explaining Tutti Frutti's insane consistency. AoE.
How? How does Beastyqt manage to be so freaking consistent in his play? Well, that's what we're going to be looking at in this replay right now. This is going to be a replay analysis. I have several notes that I've taken down of bullet points of things that Beastyqt does that does allow him to be one of the most consistent players to ever play Age of Empires 4. And for real, his win rates are absurd. He doesn't, he doesn't lose to flukes. He doesn't lose to cheese or anything like that. His consistency is incredible, and I think
I lose to disconnect though. I lose to that.
A very, very, very solid top 2 player in the world, rivaled only by Marine Lord. So we will seek to highlight what Beastyqt does in his game, on this game, in order to try to, discern anything that we can apply into our own games in order for us to also achieve consistency. So again, the map is going to be Prairie. We do have HRE here. Versus Mongol, so HRE maybe not the best civilization on Prairie, but it's certainly one of the civilizations that Beastyqt really does enjoy utilizing.
True.
So while we're in the Dark Age here and we're just kind of waiting for things to kind of happen, let me go over a couple bullet points that I've noticed from
Does it sound good?
First of all, I feel like Beastyqt gets more out of his units. And when I say more out of his units, I'm not talking about big, flashy micro or perfect engagements or whatever. I'm talking about the tasks which Beastyqt has his units do, the accomplishments of Beastyqt's units.
I need to watch this video to see what my weaknesses are so I can change them up. Move my camera up. Oh my god, it's all messed up now. I didn't even see that the chair is upside down. Okay, definitely. This is a professional stream, okay? We can't have these things happening. Alright? Alright, let's go. There you go.
Have a very big influence on how the game actually pans out from that point on. So whenever Beasty makes the decision to attack or to defend or whatever, his targets are very strategic. They add a lot of value to him without necessarily being big, huge, flashy plays. So this is a part of decision making. The part of decision making is to, again, just choose the right areas in which to attack your opponent. Beastyqt is a master of this. The other thing that Beastyqt really doesn't do is take damage, and doesn't really lose villagers, at least not for free. Does not really lose units if it's not worth it. So the amount of damage that Beastyqt will take is fairly minimal across most of his games. And that,
I gotta say, it's weird hearing my name this many times. Like Beastyqt. I know I scaled the camera. I know, it's the camera is fine. Okay, you can see me.
It has to do with map awareness. That has to do with recognizing situations. Beastyqt has a lot of respect for what other players have on the field. So, for example, it doesn't matter that. So his opponent, by the way, BLB, rank 300 right now. Rank 300. And by no means a slouch. I think BLB actually played this game fairly well. However, Beastyqt is a master at recognizing and respecting what the other player has on the field and playing around that. Beastyqt does not pretend that his units are better because he is rank 1 on the ladder as of right now and top 2 player. His units are no better than his opponents, but he utilizes them in a better manner. So we've got decision making, we have map awareness, we have the choice of units, we have the choice of build orders as well. Now that is a little bit more nitty gritty and strategic, and to fully examine the knowledge of Beastyqt's build orders, we wouldn't be able to do that in a single game. So perhaps we're going to be revisiting that. But anyway, let's hold that thought for a second. We did have a couple villagers here.
I remember
going
this
to be
game.
denying this Mongol tower rush.
It was like 5-6 days ago.
Let's notice here, no villager losses. I really want to point that out here. Now, Our Mongol friend here is going to try to get that tower up once again. We do have 4 spearmen here. 4 spearmen is not the same as 2 spearmen, so at this point, Beastyqt, again, this is what I was talking about earlier, respecting what the other player has. And instead of trying to force the issue here with these 7 villagers versus this tower, instead he's just going to pop up an archery range immediately, and he's going to get just an archer out and kind of work from there. So let's have a good
impressive
look.
How is he going to defend it? Let's find out.
At how it is that Beasty holds in this situation. Already 2 archers queued up in the archery range. Going to be pulling forward a couple of villagers here, making sure that they drop off their food, except for that one, I guess, whatever. And then here's that archer coming forward. Looking to shank a little bit here, looking to deal a little bit of damage on the spearman, but the real meat and potatoes of this defense is taking care of this villager. And so Beastyqt has taken a scout and 4 villagers and is just pushing away that villager off of that tower. And then in the meantime, microing the archers in order to get some damage done onto the spearman. So this is a very nice clean hold. Minus losing that scout right there, but again, we're not gonna nitpick.
Fuck.
So there we go. These villagers do take out this tower. Beastyqt, just popping down an archery range and is going to push away this entirety, the entirety of this push, right? So, very, very nice play indeed by Beastyqt. Has a couple of archers here, so we're gonna have a look exactly at what it is that Beasty does from this point on. We are interested in his decision making, and here we have 2 decisions in front of us. The first one being this mill. This mill. Not for the gathering of the berries or anything like that. This mill, well, obviously yes, because we're putting it right there. But this mill is to get wheelbarrow. Boom, done. Beasty was able to get 200 gold out of this mine before having to run away from it due to the tower rush. And at this point, just gonna pick up himself wheelbarrow. Notice the little amount of damage. Notice that it was held like very, very well, because just put down an archery range and move from there. That is like the correct call to make in that circumstance. And now what we have here is a state.
I'm expecting horsemen or fast castle. So I made double stable because it's prairie. So cavalry is always good. If he goes Mangudai, horseman counter. If he goes archers, horseman counter. If he goes spears, I already have archers. So, in this situation, if he goes fast castle, then I can still harass the gold. I can see his gold. You see the map? His gold is far from his TC. So it doesn't matter what he goes for. Like horsemen will do okay against all of it. Or trade
house, and there's going to be a barracks coming up here as well. We're actually going to delete this lumber camp in order to put down more farms here. And so let's see exactly what we do from this.
And then I go man at arms as well.
Because the decision that Beasty has made is going to be to invest into units. Now these units, they're going to serve a role. They're going to accomplish something for Beastyqt.
My archers are moving where the trade would be. I can see my trade post here. See that? That means that his is here. So I'm moving there.
Is going to put him ahead of his opponent. So I'm going to be pushing across the map right now. We do have these archers that have joined the fray as well. I guess this one was just kind of scouting around here, but again, if you're ever looking to analyze a high-level replay or a replay where you want to learn something, have a look at this production queue. Because this production queue represents a decision made by the player. So here we're going to have one scout go down to this section of the map.
I'm checking for trade.
We're going to have this horseman go over to this
side. I don't know what landmark he has.
What Beastyqt is doing right now is looking for the enemy gold mines. Right, the overall game plan, so we do have the con rating a little bit here. The overall game plan of Beasty does rely on the denial of gold for his opponent. So right now he is looking for extra gold mines. Going to be doing that with some horsemen. We have a couple spearmen being added into the mix as well. Even though these
you can see where my horseman is. It went to the trade. The reason why I don't need to look for the gold mines yet, I know that he's on this one because it's not attacked yet. If I attacked it, and he pulls away, then I would go to the gold mines, right? But it's also very good to know where the gold mines are.
Spearmen, I'm sorry. The spearmen are coming out of this barracks right now. The con being a little annoying, but we'll just dispatch a horseman for that. And again, this scout looking for natural resources.
Because I still don't see his
on the
landmark, so I don't know what landmark he has.
Has what we now call map control.
And now I'm just figuring I might as well scout the
rest. We do have horticulture coming in. Beastyqt is doing a really nice job trickling in economic upgrades. By the way, a little bit of a horseman raid right there. And that is why we have the spearmen coming out of the barracks. So again, just have a good look. Here's that second gold mine.
Refresher would be to say what's actually going on in his brain instead of what he's thinking. By the way, I really like videos like this. I don't mean because it's about me, but I like videos that I can watch while eating. And I was saying that earlier, iNcog, that we don't have enough of those videos because I don't want to watch like a gameplay video. You know, I want to watch like a something video.
We do have a little bit of action coming in here.
So I like it. Yeah.
And then these horsemen and the spearmen are going to be zoning away the Mongol horsemen at this point. Picking up horticulture. Just have a look at this production queue. Just keep an eye on it. You'll notice that the upgrades are just slowly being trickled in here by Beastyqt. We do have constant villager production, and then now we're going to start mixing in some men-at-arms. Yeah,
the reason I go men-at-arm horseman here,
interested in this.
I go men-at-arm horseman because I'm going to dive his gold. So again, it doesn't matter what he's going for. If I go men-at-arm horseman, I can beat his army. And if he's rushing castle super fast, he can defend it. Then even if he gets castle, he can't make gold units anyway. Because look at the gold position. This one, and this one are his golds. And this one. Those are all far away. So if I deny this gold, he's dead.
Section of the map, and again that is because we do have this gold here, so we want to verify where Mongol is gathering resources. Actually losing a vill right there. All right, go BLB. And now at this point,
my screen turned off there.
If we were to pause, I actually am going to pause the game, and I'm sorry for the pace of the game, but again this is for analysis. We do have an army right here, a couple of units in the area as well. If we're looking here, 2 archers, 6 horsemen, 3 spearmen, whatever. This task force of units, we should have some men-at-arms in here as well here in a second. Yeah, right there. This task force of units will be headed to the Mongol gold mine, because this is the vulnerability of the opponent that Beastyqt has opted to attack. Beastyqt is an expert, is an absolute expert, has the perfect game knowledge to know.
If his gold was next to TC, I would have rushed castle here. I mean, I played pretty bad this game, like I lost 2 scouts, but if his gold was next to TC, I would attack the Uvu with some units and then go castle. I would go way faster castle, but he has exposed the Uvu and gold.
Know where to attack. We're not going to attack the Ovu, we're not going to attack the town center, we're not going to attack villagers. We're going to work on this part of the map here versus the Mongol player, because we have more units, we have better units, especially with men-at-arms here. We got a couple of archers in there. A little bit of a raid right here, so Beastyqt, very good at multitasking, has a lot of map awareness, and will be dispatching units to kind of defend this area. And at the same time, we will be working on this area over here, fighting underneath the tower. See, this is what I mean. This, like, Beastyqt's micro is not like magic or anything like that. But this is, again, this is a good fight for him. He's taking a fight where his units are trading better than his opponents. Even if it's not the most stellar, perfect, you know, Flash God micro,
it's magic.
At the very least, we did have like somewhat of a favorable exchange, even maybe slightly even. I don't know. You tell me. But at the same time, over here we did have a very good exchange as well. So overall, in the course of the last 30 seconds, Beastyqt has come out ahead, and has also, more importantly, protected his wood gathering villagers here. We're also going to be putting down a mill there for the hunts. Very nice. So again, just notice, you know, Beastyqt, he's lost 1 villager up until this point, so not taking any real damage, and the investment of his units has allowed him to retain map control, to protect his gathering villagers, to deny gold gathering. This is forcing idle villager time. This is also forcing Mongol to kind of defend this position, and of course it is going to be highly difficult for the Mongol player to defend this position versus men-at-arms. Though it
Look at that army, I'm about to beat his ass.
Beasty's actually moving in a different direction as of right now. Looks like we'll be instead hitting the Ovu in this area, perhaps seeking to avoid the tower. Now, again, just keep an eye on this. We are starting to notice that Beastie has cut units at this point, and so Beastyqt has decided that this was a good time to age up, and he's correct in this assessment. Of course he is, because again, he does have a significant military advantage at this point, and he has map control. And if you have map control,
at this point, there's no point making more units. If I make more units, they don't give me anything. I can already beat his army, I can push him off of the gold, and I can push him off of the Uvu. So it makes no sense for me to make more units. Because I'm not going for a kill, I just wanted to do damage, and then I get my own castle. I think I make more units here because there's a raid on my back of my base.
If your opponent is not able to get across the map and deny your age up, then that is a great time to go ahead and age up. So we did siege down this blacksmith a little bit, but now we're going to be hitting this gold once more. These men-at-arms, again, trading favorably over here. Let's have a look at this raid. Very nice raid. Picking off a villager right there, so we are going to have to retreat from that position. Okay. Sorry, we're just going to pause again because there's a lot of action going on, and I really want to underline a lot of different things here. These villagers, again, Beastyqt is respecting what his opponent has. Gathering wood here, he is going to retreat from that position. It doesn't matter that he's better than his opponent. He's still going to retreat from that position if his opponent has any units there. Just respecting the enemy army is what Beastie is doing there. So very nice, able to take out that blacksmith. We're pushing away the Mongol player from this part of the base.
Alright, this is over. This is game over.
Off the gold right there. We do have just a superior unit count, and so we're going to not overextend. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're probably going to dispatch a couple units over here in this direction. And then we do have Beastyqt Cathedral coming in as well. Overall, very nice, solid position here for Beastie. There's no question about it. His opponent is actually up to the next stage right now.
He edges up first, but it doesn't matter. He has no gold. So, he edged up first, but he actually didn't. I actually edged up faster than him because he can't use his castle at all, so it doesn't matter.
Also, we're going to have to be a little bit careful in case of lancers / men-at-arms. But at the same
he might
time,
have had some gold, obviously, but look how many units
the opponent will need to train those units, so Beastie has a window of opportunity to do that. Let's have a look over here. Yep, just dispatching a couple units. So Beastyqt has a window of opportunity here to get some damage in, and then once that damage has been accomplished, we're going to run away from lancers, men-at-arms, or anything that would really be a problem for this army. But again, there's a fair amount of units here, so we would need to get a few Mongol units out in order to really push this away here. So, yep, we do lose a horseman right now. The barracks is under fire, and we are up to the next stage as well. So again, a very nice timing on that decision to age up here. Okay, yeah, and then we're going to keep working away at these units right now. Again, this is not a good fight for the Mongol player, unfortunately, and Beastie does kind of hightail it out of there.
See, no double production, no gold.
Again, respecting what the opponent has, and at the same time, well, we're going to retreat this army a little bit, and we're going to focus. We're going to double down on what's going on back home here. We're going to get some Aachen farms going. We're going to get our prelates out in order to pick up some relics. We're going to get some gold, and we're going to start trickling in some upgrades and some veterancy as well. Yeah, just look at this army and realize just how effective it's been. It's not any bigger. It's not especially big. It's not being especially well microed per se. However, the things that these units accomplish are very powerful. And so again, watching this gold deposit here, because Beastie wants to make sure that his opponent is not on this gold, not on this gold, and so now what we're going to be doing is checking on this gold. And at the same time, you hear it right there.
Always the microburn.
Relics are being picked up because
Beastyqt
has map control. Beastyqt has map control because he has a better army. As simple as that. Like I said, this army,
I'm trying, okay? I'm trying.
Accomplishing very powerful things. Have a look at this. You know, just a little bit of a raid right here, but these villagers are going to take a lot of damage before this tower goes up. And now Beastyqt also knows where the weakness of the Mongol player is. So we know that we need to push in this general area. We're able to do so because we have the better army. And of course the question is, why do we have the better army? or we've done a couple things
there.
throughout the game here. Let's have a look at this raid. The first thing that we've done is that we've taken little economic damage. I think Beasty has lost maybe a couple villagers here and there. I'd say 2 or 3 at most. Also, the Mongol player guarding this relic here, very nice indeed. The other thing that Beasty has done is that whenever a trade has occurred, it has either been even or it has been favorable for him, and that is how you get consistency. If you're gonna take a trade,
just don't lose units. That's how easy it is. Just don't lose units.
It has to be good. So again, Beasty is just gonna start rallying units in this area now, and he's gonna push into over there, onto that gold mine. We're not gonna go crazy with the villagers over here or this deer stones or any of that. Beasty has identified the vulnerability of the Mongol players over here, and then we'll be again just attacking in that general direction. We do have a fair amount of economic upgrades being pursued here. We have all of our tier 1s. We have wheelbarrow as well, and overall we're just in a very solid position. We have 6 prelates out, and we have at least 2 relics.
How much cringe do you get from one time when you hear other people talking about your gameplay? I mean, I'm used to it. Like, people cast my games all the time, right? So I'm kind of used to it. I don't think this is cringe. Like, this, the way I see is its analysis of gameplay, and sometimes you can learn stuff from people watching your games or discussing your games. So, I mean, I'll discuss the video after.
We're obviously gathering more, and then this is a dagger to the throat of the Mongol player here.
Look at that relic.
Because again, the Mongol is now going to be starved for gold, and Mongol has been behind and on the back foot throughout most of the game here, and as a result, their army is smaller. It's as simple as that.
Look at the map. It's like Zerd.
Very clean play out of Beastyqt. And the macro just a little bit maybe slipping right there. Arguably, not really, but at least a little bit. But Beasty has just completely decimated this top.
I mean, I got too much in gold for sure. I think I don't have. I don't have wood to make more chapels.
It was a very nice, clean game, and it's what Beasty does well that allows him to get that like ridiculous 90% win rate. I think it's like what 70 or 71 wins and like 4 losses. That is absurd, and that is why. I'm going to be doubling down on the study of Beastyqt as a player.
Actually, it's 95%.
Out here as the Mongol player. Very well played to both players, but especially well played to Beasty.
Okay, so this is what I think about this. Let me link you guys the video if anyone wants to watch. Okay, he has a lot of videos actually. I might check out more of these in the future whenever I have downtime or I'm eating or something. There might be more videos I'll check out if they're like discussion videos, because I like those. They get me, I watch them, they get me to think about stuff. Because again, I'm not really interested in watching gameplay videos on my stream, because might as well just play, right? So anyway, regarding that video, I mean, a lot of the things are on point. Obviously, there was one part where iNcog says, like, I was looking for goals. I was looking for trade, because I didn't see the landmark. But that's obviously, like, sometimes hard to see, or you might have an oversight on that, because I didn't see the landmark. If I saw the landmark, I wouldn't have gone there at all. And then I might have searched for golds. But, I mean, a lot of it is true. Like, I play AoE 4, like I bet. I never bet unless I'm 100% sure I'm winning. So, if I want to do a bet against someone, I am 100% sure I'm going to win. Or, 99%, right? You're never 100% sure. And the same thing is in AoE 4. Whenever I'm fighting units, I only take fights that I'm sure I'm going to win. I don't take fights that I'm not sure which way they're going to go. I just run away, reposition, and take another fight. And that's why most of my fights I come out ahead. Or, even if I lose the units, I create a situation for another set of units to do way more damage than I just lost. And if I see that on my head, I don't dive in under TC like a turd unless I'm sure I can win. So like for example, that game, I had units in front of his base the whole time. And I could have went under TC to kill a unit or 2 or 3, but I couldn't win. So I see that as, why would I waste my units when I'm ahead? A lot of people do dive TCs like that, and they lose units, and then they get counterattacked, and they start losing more units, and they lose the game. At the end there, I knew 100% I'm winning the game if I attack. So I just dove under his TC with all the units. and I rallied my units into his base. Like, I know 100% that he cannot hold that. Like, there's no way he can hold that. So I just went for it. But yeah, I mean, all memes aside, like regarding the micro, yeah, I don't have the best micro. I would say I have the best micro in the late game, like in Imperial with Siege. I don't think any player can out micro me with like massive, like 200 armor supply battles. My feudal micro, I think is good, but I think like Marine Lord's way better, for example. But I think my biggest strength is just knowing where to attack and knowing what my goal is in the game. Like, I always know what I need to do to win, even if I'm behind. And I think this is why I also come back in a lot of the games if I'm behind, because I know what I need to do to come back. So I think that's pretty important. No, I know. No, don't worry. I know my micro isn't perfect. Like, I know my micro could be a lot better. I just put a lot more effort into multitasking, like 3 sides, than actually microing 2 sides. I'm a firm believer that one of the best things you can do in AoE 4 is, I am very into, and I watched a lot of games, and I did a lot of analysis on this in pro plays. I'm a very firm believer that one of the easiest and best ways to win a game is simply overwhelming your opponent with pings on the map. I know this sounds silly, but the pings are extremely distracting, and it's extremely hard to keep track of it. So I prefer to force 5 battles, even if I lose 3 of them and win 2 of them, because I know that I'm not going to slip up in macro. I know that I'm still doing what I'm supposed to, and I know that the opponent is the one who's going to mess up and fail on macro, and then I'm going to win in the long run. That's why, I don't know if you guys notice this, but when I play Imperial pro games, like I'm talking like 30, 40, 50 minute games. So sometimes the fight is even, there's fights everywhere, and then I just win the game. Did you guys ever notice that watching the games? Like, it seems even, everything's okay, we're fighting everywhere, and then the opponent just dies, straight up. And the opponent dies because they get overwhelmed with the amount of attention they need to give everywhere, and eventually they fuck up somewhere. Eventually, they don't do a round of macro, or eventually they miss-rally to the other side, and then my units get in, and that's it. The game ends really quickly from then on. And I've had these games a lot. These games happen, this type of gameplay happens on 4 lakes a lot. Where everything is fine, and then one raid goes in, I kill 10 villagers, he defends, another raid goes in, kills 15 villagers on gold, and the game ends. And the reason why that doesn't happen to me often, it happens for sure, but it doesn't happen to me often, is because I force these kinds of like interactions with the opponent, and this is what I'm practiced to do. And I don't, like, sometimes people ask me, how do you not fall apart under the pressure? Because I'm used to it, right? But the opponents fall apart because they're not used to it. They play a different kind of game. So sometimes in games, doesn't matter if it's an RTS or another game, you don't have to be necessarily better than your opponent in micro if you want to win fights. You can win through other ways. Or if your opponent's better in micros, you can just force them to play a different kind of game. It can be done both ways. And like I always tell people, AoE 4 is a very complicated game in terms of there's so many things you can do. Another thing that I do quite often, and I'm pretty sure people know, but this now already like the top player, so I'm not like revealing any info. If the player is an all-inner, like they love all-inning in feudal, I purposely pick civs and maps against them that is not good in, and then I drag out the game into castle. And the moment I drag out the game into the castle, they're not comfortable playing there already. That's not the game they're used to. And I play extremely defensive in feudal. I get them to castle, and then I kill them right after. If players hate Imperial, I purposely delay and drag out games in Imperial, and I just win there, because I know they're going to play way worse than me. Like, everyone should play to their strengths, not to your weaknesses. So I always, whenever I play against someone, I try to find their weakness, and I just exploit it. There are players, by the way, also that are very weak in feudal harassment. There's some players that are slower. They're just like APM wise, they're slower, or they just are weak to harassment. Against those players, I play French. I don't play French too often, but I pick French on purpose against those players because I know that they're not comfortable in it. And yeah, French is not my best civ, but that doesn't matter. What matters to me is to take them out of their comfort zone, because I'm more or less comfortable everywhere. I'm very flexible regarding that. And the thing is, you can't be a perfect player. You have to, like, you can't be perfect everywhere. So somewhere you have to give up certain things to be good at certain things. And definitely one of the things that I give up, not on purpose, but I just don't have much practice with it, is the super small micro battles maybe. There are a lot of players who do that better than me. So I try not to play that kind of game. And by the way, I say this, and I'm pretty sure I can out micro, you know, everyone except maybe very few players. But micro is still not my strength. So yeah. Maybe I'll upload this on YouTube, maybe I won't. If I do, thank you YouTubers for watching. And of course it's ladder time.